Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Minecraft Disney World. This week, we're taking a break from attractions, and we're going to be checking out another resort on the mcmagic.us server. And the resort we're going to be looking at is the All-Star Movies Resort. Now, the All-Star Movies Resort is the middle child of all of the value resorts at Walt Disney World. There are 5 in total. There's the All-Star Sports, the All-Star Music, the All-Star Movies, and then there's Pop Century, and then just recently opened, there's the Art of Animation. The first ones opened in 1994. The All-Star Movies opened in 1999 in January, and then you have Pop opening in 2003, and then Animation opening in 2012. Now, the value resorts sort of mark a shift in the way the Walt Disney Company operated, and they also marked a shift in how you could go about experiencing a Walt Disney World vacation. Back when Michael Eisner and Frank Wells took over the company in '84, most of Disney's profits were coming from the theme parks. However, what Wells and Eisner noticed were that they were grossly undercharging for everything. And this goes back to Walt wanting to always give people a nice, affordable experience, which is great for customers, but wasn't great for the business and sort of led to them almost being hostilely taken over in the mid-'80s. So Eisner immediately started to sort of raise the prices on things, which, of course, is never fun from a consumer standpoint. But on the other end of things, it did allow Disney to sort of pull in profits that allowed Disney to expand. If you take a look at Disney and the state it was in '84, you know, it had the Magic Kingdom and Epcot had just opened and completely over budget on top of that. And it had 2 or 3 hotels, and now what it is today is just extremely sprawling and massive, and it's sort of thanks to that. The other thing that Eisner wanted to do was sort of take advantage of the fact that a lot of people wanted to go to Walt Disney World. Now, what's interesting is when Walt opened Disneyland, he had a problem with the fact that he was on this small piece of land, and immediately people started building tacky and cheap motels outside of it, and he couldn't control it because it wasn't his land. And so he saw it as an eyesore and a problem, and it's sort of why when he started picking up land for Disney World in Florida, he got more than he needed because he wanted there to be this empty buffer in between the outside world and Disney World. And that's exactly what ended up happening, because even though Disney World opened and became popular and these same sort of tacky motels started popping up around the property, you wouldn't see them. Now, the problem is, when you only have a couple of resorts, people are still going to use them. And so that was money that Eisner thought that Disney could be making, but they weren't. And so he sort of put this big push in the 90s to expand Disney World and add a lot more rooms. The All-Star Movies alone has 1,920 rooms. Now, if you think that the other value resorts have similar amounts, I mean, you're looking at about 10,000 rooms that you can put guests in overnight. And that's a lot of money that Disney can pull in. Now, the sort of theming here of all of the value resorts is to keep the quality of the resort high to a Disney standard, but through different means. And by that, I mean, if you were to go to the Grand Floridian, it is beautiful. It is extremely detailed, and it is just down to every little thing you can think about. It has that sort of Disney touch. And sort of as a result, it is an extremely expensive resort. Now here, it sort of goes motel style. For instance, it is built motel style in that it exits out to the outdoors and you walk around the building as opposed to inside in a hallway. But they still want to keep it themed in a Disney fashion, so they have these massive props from famous movies like 101 Dalmatians and Herbie the Love Bug and Toy Story that sort of give it this cartoony and fanciful theming, which is great. And it also has some of the largest pools, because when you have 2,000 people, you're going to have 2,000 people who want to go into a pool. And they also trade in other things. Instead of having a fancy restaurant to go eat at, it's more of a cafeteria dormitory style setting. And it really is an ideal place to go if you're more of a parks person, because it's cheaper, it allows you to stay longer because you're not paying as much for a room. And at the end of the day, if you're more of a parks person, you're probably looking at the resort as just the place you're sleeping in between days at the parks anyway. This was built by the Millers on the MC Magic server. They're famous for building virtually every bathroom there, and hopefully I can do a video with them in the future talking about their work on the bathrooms as well as this resort and how they could build something so large. In the meantime, I hope everyone has a fantastic week. Whatever you're doing, please make the most of it because it makes it that much better. And I hope to see you all here next week for the next episode of Minecraft Disney World. Bye, everyone.